That's all we can do, man, is keep our faith, uh, up.
Absolutely.
How do we go about that, Bishop, in a time like this where so many things are just unwavering and so discouraging, such a discouraging time, like we spoke about before, artists not being able to tour, business is somewhat going back to usual, but not really. How have you been coping with all of this, Bishop, and handling all of this?
Well, for me, and greetings again to all the brothers on the live tonight. I'm just happy to be here. Well, I hate this living purpose, but nonetheless, shameless. I've been waiting to do that. But
I love you, Bishop.
I think it's a matter of as the old church would say, where your hope is built. And when you recognize where your hope is built, and that, as the old hymn would say, my hope is built on nothing less, we get into that. But I think it's a matter of asking God in times like these to help you recreate what he's created in you. So it's almost like he recreates you. He gives you in basketball, we call it a second wind, where you feel like you're tired, then that adrenaline kick in. And I think this 2020, God helped some of us recreate our own selves. Or for some it was a recreation. For others, we ran into the rest of us.
Right.
We ran into who we were that we didn't recognize that we were, who we were potentially to be. Then now we ran smack and dab into who we were in the future. I know something happened for me. And you look, Dr. Titus already shared. He's like, I had number one this during the pandemic. Pastor said, I got married during the pandemic. It's you run into your future while other people are. So it's almost like this pandemic has made you a firefighter. You run into buildings everybody else is running out of.
Right.
So literally God has recreated, he's reinvented, and then he's allowed us to figure out things that we didn't know we could do. And now in the next season of our life, we will be more valuable to the kingdom, which makes us more valuable to the earth realm. Because I've learned how to do, I can do a whole music video now. I got everything from green screens to cameras. I got drones. And it's not something I had to hire somebody and use their gear. I got my own gear. I just hire personnel.
See that?
And I would have never been on that wavelength if the pandemic hadn't happened. So for some, they say, well, it's been the worst thing could have happened. But for some of us, it was really a wake-up call. And it was really one of the best things that could have happened to us. And the place it put us in consecration, in prayer, and our relationship with God, man, has been phenomenal, man.
Well, that's what I like to hear. Pivoting. If this pandemic has taught us something, it has taught us how to pivot. And we know about basketball. When you don't have a clear-cut way to another, you got to pivot and hopefully get that shot off another way, man. How has pivoting been working for you, Mr. Wynn?
Well, this whole pandemic experience has been, kind of like, it was different for me. I'm gonna piggyback off what Bishop Vaughn said. It kind of helped me to find exactly who I was, I think, because when it started, we were forced to be alone. All of us, we weren't able to have 150 guest lists like Bryan. Some of us were in a house by ourselves. So, right before the pandemic, as you know, I moved. And so, so being a bachelor and moving right before the pandemic, it just taught me to figure out who I was in this. And once I figured that out, that's when I met Cherie. And so
come on, talk about it.
Yeah, that's when I met her. And so, we'll see how that goes. But everything wasn't horrible for me in 2020, because I think she was one of the breakouts for me last year.
And look at God. God is good.
Definitely.
He's still in the blessing business.
Definitely.
He's still in the blessing business. Now, for creators, everybody's on here is still working, in some form of capacity. You know what I'm saying? And y'all managed to keep the main thing the main thing. You got some artists that said, I had this money waiting on me. I had this money waiting on that money waiting on me. And now I can't get to it anymore. what you say to those artists that feel like they lost out on opportunities or feel like they'll never gain those opportunities back? Anyone can jump in on that one.
I'll just go first. I think, and I have to agree with all the brothers and what they stated. Thematically, there was a unison there. I think this pandemic taught artists that you have to be marketable in a sense of having more than one income and one source of stream of income.
You talking,
because
Bryan.
I think that a lot of artists, in times past, have just depended on their voice for one, which is directly a result of their health. And then number three, which is a direct result of actually being in front of people. So I think what this has done is caused the artists to think wiser, to say, wait a minute, one day I may not be able to fly. One day I may be connected to a ventilator. I need to have something that is going to cause me to have residual, even if I'm not on a microphone. Wow. And I think that's what this has done. It has caused the artists to realize that you are more multidimensional than what you've allowed industry and for people to make you. And that there's more gifts inside of you besides of what's recorded on a track, right? So you have to utilize your total essence, your total being, and to realize to make yourself multi-dimensional. Not only in that, but also for artists to say, wait a minute now, I'm singing the song and it may be getting played during the pandemic, but I'm not traveling. Somebody's getting blessed. It's not me. So it's making them also say, maybe next time I'm going to have a little more input in this single. I'm going to understand a little bit more about publishing, about writers' mechanics and different things of that nature. So I think it really caused the artists to say, wait a minute, I've been doing this wrong and I've been living in the moment, not preparing for a legacy, not preparing for a future.
Wow. And
I have a lot of friends that, I got this engagement here, I got this engagement here. Let me go buy these Gucci shoes for $750. Let me go out to Ruth Chris tonight. Yeah. And then it's like, bro, but bro, now we in a whole pandemic. What we doing? You can't eat them Gucci shoes.
You sure can.
So you gotta be wise. And that's something that we have to do. I think it's taught us to be wise, not just gospel artists, but people in general, but specifically to our demographic. It taught us, listen, let's invest in Wall Street. Let's learn about Acorn. Okay. Let's find out what's going on. Let me save up. Let me not just spend all of this check because I got another check coming in next month. Let me plan. And I think that's what it has done. And I thank God for it, because some people that I know personally have learned some vital lessons that the pandemic had to teach them in order for them to have stability and establishment, later on in life.
Wow. That's powerful. You sound like you got something. You leaned up like you got something on that, Bishop. Go ahead.
I totally, man, I am in agreement. And on the flip side, to the person who has to have a microphone, I think it showed that you got to dig deeper now because ain't nobody to hype you up. And it's one thing when you singing and you preaching, for that matter, in front of 100, 200, 2,000, 3,000 people. And then when you got to preach and sing to a camera light and ain't nobody saying nothing. But you still
hello lights.
Literally.
This Sunday, I close out a series that I've been in all month entitled The Bubble. And part of the moment of the series was, can you perform when nobody's cheering?
Wow.
And what it has taught us is I still got to preach under the anointing. I still got to sing with power and conviction. With nobody clapping, nobody foaming at the mouth, nobody running around the walls. And it made us really have to self-check if we really know God for real.
Do you really know him?
Or are we just going off this wave that's been created by people versus not having our own private relationship with him? So it should have taught us, as Pastor already, the good doctor superintendent already taught us, it should have taught us all that stuff. But for those people who feel like they have to have a mic, it should have showed them you're going to have to dig a little deeper. Yeah. And hopefully that created a pattern of relationship that we will become out of this, even though things will never go back to the way they were. But even when we come out of this, there's a sustained relationship with us and God that now begins to continue and begins to increase.
Wow,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Titus Showers, man. One of the hardest. I didn't think there was anybody that worked harder than me, but then I met Titus.
No, brother, man.
And let me stop. Everybody on this platform works even harder. I mean, listen, I'm over.
Yeah.
I'm running. I got my running shoes on, chasing, and but at the end of the day, how important is it to remember that you are in no competition with nobody but yourself? How important is that to remember, Bishop? Titus, I'm talking to you. You are a bishop.
Oh, Bishop. Oh, absolutely, man. So it's very important, man, because the Bible tells us, man, let every man administer according to the ability which God has given him. So I have no business worried about what Trey doing and trying to be like Trey, trying to be like Bishop and all of these other amazing guys on this line on tonight. I need to focus on what I need to do. I can look at their craft and put it a part of mine and make it a part of me. Like I listen to other great singers, but I can only sound like Titus because I can't be, nobody should be mimicking or competing with each other. But it has become a very competitive edge in the gospel industry. Everybody wants to be this and everybody wants to be that. And it's commendable if that's where God wants to take you, man. So I definitely suggest that we should just take a seat, man, and create our own sound and be who God made us to be. And nobody can beat you being you, man.
They sure can. How to go about finding your sound, Christopher Wynn? What does that mean to you? How do these artists go about you managing artists and several different artists at that? What have you learned about that?
Well, I know you're going to ask me this. The first thing is you have to have tenacity. You have to have, a go ahead in yourself. And I think a lot of artists, especially like newer artists that's coming out today, they look at it. You have to know this question. For me, I have like 15 different answers because number one, as an artist, you have to look at it and say, well, what are you doing this for?
Right.
Are you doing it? Are you doing it for money and fame?
Right.
Are you doing it for clout? Are you doing it for attention? Are you doing it because you believe God gave you the gift? And see, we have a lot of artists out here that's doing it for the wrong thing. And so, when you're doing it for the wrong thing, it shows. And if you have no work ethics, no goals, no vision, and you're just doing it for the wrong reasons, this is the reason why we have a lot of artists that believe labels. I'm gonna get in trouble. But
go ahead.
But some,
why Bryan look like that? He's on mute and I can hear what he's saying.
I'm gonna get in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble. But some artists, believe that labels is the only way, and I don't believe that because we know some artists out here that are not on major labels and they are doing it. They are doing it. So I think that as artists, you have to just find in yourself, what are you doing it for? And I spoke to an artist the other day that believes that, this is something that God gave them, so they shouldn't have to have a job. So as artists on here, how do y'all feel about the 9 to 5? There's some artists that believe they were given to be an artist and they're too good to work. What do y'all believe in that?
Own your own business, man. If I may say, man, I'm fortunate to own my own business, bro. Me and my brother.
You are fortunate.
Have a mental health business. We have our other family businesses that the Lord blessed us with. And I feel like if we get out and do that, man, but if you're working a 9 to 5, man, you work it, man, but if it's hurting you, bro, you got to remember who you're working for at the same time. Now, you're working for the master. God is not going to let you make a foolish decision. If he wants you to be full-time, you waiting on his timing, So I'm able to be flexible because I work for my family, bro. So I definitely wanted to interject that, man. I wanted to say that.
I think
you want to say something.
I think, and we got to say amen for the one and only, the Dr. Keith Wonderboy is in the
Keith
house.
Wonderboy.
Yes, sir.
Be right. Come on in here.
He took a break from Clubhouse and came and hung out with us tonight. Hey,
God. All right, on Cloud.
That Clubhouse is taking over. But go ahead, y'all.
It's storming down here, man.
I think for the artist, and this is just I'm not saying that the Lord woke me up this morning and told me this, but I'm going to say this, and if it gets me in trouble, we get in trouble on these anyway.
Yeah, we do.
I think that there is a level, yes, that you trust God if you believe that's what you've been called to. I do believe there's a such thing called misplaced faith.
Wow.
That you got to understand what season you're in and what place you're in your life.
Right.
And sometimes people want to be full time because they think someone else is and they see them doing it, but they don't see how much time they've put in. They don't see what they do behind the scenes. You don't know that Bishop Titus is a mental health whatever and has his own business. All you see is him singing, or if he can do it full time and his time is free now. And see, that's the wrong. Now you have misplaced faith because you're building on what you saw someone else do. And it's not for every artist to be full time. In artistry is what I mean, where all you're doing is writing music and singing songs. For me, I'm a consultant, and that's one thing I was always at some point. But when the pandemic happened, I became adept in being able to do it for virtual stuff. So where the concerts may have ended, ministry began.
See that?
Mm-hmm. So and then if you're not making yourself valuable in other areas, as we've already stated, and all you want to do is stand on stages and singing, you done already shot yourself in the foot, you know. And if you're that great of an artist, then you have opportunity. If you say, well, I don't want to work a 9 to 5, but you got to do something. Start a podcast. Start doing interviews. Be Trevone Perry. I mean, be somebody. I mean, do something.
No, don't be me. Be better than me. Be better
than me. But I mean that person, because I had to help somebody. That person who just man, God called me to sing. That's all I want to do is sing. Man, you got to do something else in this day and age. And if you are going to do that, then maybe you start something and you start vocal lessons. We got to do something.
I agree, Bishop.
Especially if you have family and children who are dependent on you.
That's a fact.
If you by yourself, don't mind sleeping in the car with a pillow and a sheet, hey, that's on you.
That's
but if you have children, you owe it to your children and your family to explore every option in your life.
Bishop, it's funny you touched on that because Steve Harvey, you know what I'm saying? That was one of the reasons why his eldest son was upset with him, because early on, look at what he wound up becoming. You know, he did pursue his dream and it panned out for him. But what if it would not have panned out for him? You get what I'm saying? Right. But it did pan out for him and he kept going. And that's the reason why one of his eldest son and his bond was messed up for so many years, because, you know, Steve couldn't be there because he was out on the road and gone all the time. People don't understand. They see what you guys are doing and the work, though it be great, and seeing you guys on the award show, it looks amazing when we see Titus Showers performing for the Stellas and we see Keith Wonderboy Johnson winning. Keith Wonderboy Johnson, he got 18 Stellas behind his back. And you see Bryan Andrew Wilson hosting this show and hosting that show and marrying and he done married Beyonce. And and you see Bishop Cortez Vaughn, you know, going on and singing all over the world, and every artist want him on their track, but they don't know the behind story. This is why I got y'all on here to tell them, yo, listen, it wasn't always this sweet, my guy. It wasn't always this sweet, you know.
For sure. May I add?
Go ahead, Keith.
Say it's different. Like Trey, you know me personally.
Absolutely.
So people that don't know me, I'm basically living out my dad's dreams.
Right.
Now, people that don't, my dad, as Trey know, my dad was a businessman, an entrepreneur. My dad had like 5 businesses. That wasn't what he wanted to do. That's what he had to do, because my mama was not having it. During that time when my daddy was young, my daddy wanted to be a guitar player. He used to play at the Apollo for different people. He wanted to eat, you know, with his guitar player, but he had kids, and then he had a wife at home that was not having it. So when I was little, my dad would take me summer everywhere, but he had to be back at home be on the job by that Monday morning. She didn't care where you went during that weekend.
Right.
So that's why,
Right.
like you say, you hear everybody talking that about being full-time management. But if your lifestyle, you can't continue a quality lifestyle being full-time, then you need to get a job. Or how my dad say, you need to get a hustle. So what people don't know, I had a hit chart and top hit record, and still was busting it on Sunday nights to get back to Brooklyn by 9 o'clock. I was still punching that clock during Be Right. I was still working for New York Life Insurance, buddy.
Come on in here.
That's right.
I
That's
love
right. That's right.
Yeah, I love it. You know,
That's
if I
right.
may, and I don't know, Keith, were you finished, bro?
Sure.
One of my favorite scriptures, man. Stories. The book of Amos, man. The Bible talks about he was a vine dresser and he went to go prophesy to the king. And the king told him, said, hey, listen, why don't you go out into the court and prophesy for money like the rest of the prophets? And I never forget this story, man. And Amos looked at the king and said, I don't have to do this. I got a whole vineyard back where I'm from. And God only took me out of my job to come help you out. And that is something that I live by. I live by the fact that one thing that I saw was some of the most anointed and gifted people. Some of them were mentors. They would go in, kill and wreck the house, anointed, prophesy, sing, and go home and have to ask somebody for gas money. And it was one of the things that I saw as a kid. I was like, I see you on TV. I see you on Bobby Jones. I see you at the Gym WA. I see you with your glittery suits on and stuff and everything. I know that it ain't going down like this. But when I saw that, something in me registered and said, wait a minute. I have to institute something that's going to be able to supply my need if the church is closed. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Or if, even though I'm young, I've been on the road and had to sing for chicken dinners and fish sandwiches, and I took 12 hours to drive to get there. You know what I'm saying? And so in that, I learned that I had to become a force that not only if somebody couldn't support me, I could support myself. And so, and I think that's what I think that's where God and that's where life is leading us, is that we're moving from the perspective where we have to be dependent on people, and that now we are becoming self-sufficient. And I think that that's one of the major things that's affecting the industry, affecting people. Like I myself, of course I have business as well, but I have a regular job that I love. I'm in education. Like I work education, that's my thing. And I think we also have to find out that there's more to life than just what you think that you know about you. And Bishop said it so perfectly. You have to learn you. You have to learn that there's other parts of you. If you like singing, you may like duplicating it, you know? If you like doing runs, you may like teaching them, you know? So a lot of times your gift is a clear indication of where God wants to multiply you. When he came back for the talents, he didn't just say, yo, you only have one talent and that's all you got. No, he came back. He said, I want to see what you did with your one talent.
What you
and
did,
I think
what
sometimes
I
we get so pigeonholed. Yeah. You know, we get pigeonholed. We got to realize, you know, there's more to us and we got to develop that.
I love
and
that.
if you remember, you know, I'm getting older. So some stuff, Trey, I'll be on forget.
Go ahead.
But if you remember, now that was something that, you know, our generation, they was loving to say they full-time ministry and all like that, and the two things to say that you full-time and that you a signed artist, you a so-and-so artist, right? And I like, I don't know, I don't know how I got there, but I started like advising the opposite. Now I remember, if you don't remember, Bryan was in his sophomore year in Columbia, and I told him, I said, you've been in the industry before all of us. You was a little boy. Singing on videos and all like that. I said, man, this industry ain't going nowhere. I said, that ain't going nowhere. Get your degree in Columbia. And I remember two people that I was so proud of that I shared that with. Bryan and Anasia Figueroa. I told her, this is not going, that industry ain't going nowhere. Finish school and then pursue your dreams.
He did.
Right.
He absolutely did.
Shout out to my friend and my one of my close brothers, Jason Claiborne, is on with us tonight, coming straight from rehearsal.
What's up?
He's another person in his car. You ain't the only one in your car, bro.
What up, Bryan? What's up, fam? What's up,
What's good, bro?
And for those of you watching, I want y'all to know Jason is driving the BMW coupe, right now, and Bryan is driving the Bentley right now. So they got
Listen,
the Batmobiles up
don't-
tonight.
the Bentley 2021.
Don't
Oh God, y'all see the sunroof, man? Y'all
Yeah.
they just doing it up. They just doing it up today. They showing off.
Yep,
They
yeah.
showing off. But
And
Hey, man, listen, I you know what's crazy? And I'm glad y'all said this. This is what's so tight about this. Bryan, somebody was like, man, Tiffany got married. I was like, yeah. I said, but do y'all know who that is?
right.
Bro, when I told them who you were, bro, and I showed them a video of you back in the day, yo, they was going crazy. I was like,
Oh my
yo,
God.
dude, been in the industry. Like,
Ben,
this ain't nothing. I mean, this ain't
Ben
nothing.
here.
Like, he was a kid. I remember
Yeah.
watching you, bro. Like, I mean,
Wow.
you know, I mean, you put your work in, and your longevity speaks, bro. Like, even with kids, man, y'all's longevity, man. That's what I
Thank
pick
you,
up
man.
from y'all, man. It's the longevity and the endurance of you staying in this. You know what I mean? That's dope to me, man. Super
Thanks,
dope, man.
bro.
Yo, you know what?
Yeah, real dope.
And
Wow.
let me tell you something. It's long, and I know Bryan from some years back when we did a Liz Black showcase together, and Keith Wonderboy Johnson. You know, we grew up. That's family. And one thing I say about since I known about these dudes with their longevity is they've been the same ever since I known them. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're reachable. You know what I'm saying? You see them, they ain't all high and mighty. And once again, these dudes have done some things to be high and mighty. And I love that. How important is it to keep a great attitude in this season, Bishop Vaughn and Chris, after Bishop tackles that?
Man, the attitude, the great attitude is what allows continuous doors to be open.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the great attitude is what creates what we just said, the longevity.
Mm-hmm.
Because a bad attitude will get you used one time, have your services rendered one time, and then that's about the end of it. But a great attitude and great character, I believe, helps you build relationships.
Yeah.
And we have this example here. We got Keith Wonderboy says back in the day when Bryan was at Columbia, sophomore, I said this. That was great attitude. So you understand more to you than this. So now here we are years later, sitting on a Zoom.
Right.
That this relationship is perpetual.
It all comes full circle.
You know,
Yes.
I've seen short-term relationships with long-term expectations in this industry.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because of the levels of integrity and the levels of attitude. You know, because when your attitude's right, and I promise y'all, this is my heart about a lot of stuff in ministry, whatever the case may be. When your attitude's right, you realize it don't gotta be just about you.
It doesn't.
Right.
That you don't mind.
Man,
it ain't always about reaching down, because you know we like that. We like take pictures of pulling people up, take pictures of feeding people. It ain't always about. Sometimes it's about laterally just handing off. Hey, go on and take this. I think you'll be better at this than I will. It's just a pass.
Wow.
I mean, it ain't always about somebody being less than you and you trying to pick them up out the muck and the mud. Man. It's just a chest pass. You know, and that's what builds relationships.
That's a fact. That's a fact, Bishop.
For sure. But the new generation, man, is what is this younger. They love to throw names, man. And I started turning it around. I say it ain't the fact that you throw a name. What do that name that you just threw? What do they say about you?
Yeah.
That's the key thing. What do they say about you? So now we grew up. We done heard that saying so much. You know, your talent will get you in the room, but it's your character and how you handle yourself that'll keep you in the room. And see, one thing I value more than anything, man, that what the Lord has blessed me with, relationships, man. You can't beat that. That's better than talent a lot of times. Because, dude, I like you said, it's crazy that our generation here is like, no matter where I go, I got way back stories with everybody.
That's a
Not
fact.
well, not everybody, but you know what I'm saying? Because you're telling you, I'm a history buff. That's what I love when I watch Unsung. I love watching Unsung because you get educated of, you look at that big name, but they tell you the story, who came through that camp, you know, who they was tight with or whatever. Read that, man. No, I try to tell somebody, nobody came out of nowhere. They all been on the grind for years. You just hearing about it.
Right.
I agree with that 100%, Fo. And it's crazy. I was just at an event. Shout out to K Sound Production for honoring myself and Pastor Mike and my big bro Canton Jones in Hinesville, Georgia this past weekend. And they gave me an award for being an inspiration. And I was like, "What do you inspiration for what, man? Yeah, I'm just doing what I do." They was like, "Yo, bro, have no idea how much you've been inspiring us." And I said, "That's what's up." And I was having this conversation with my brother the other day. I was like, I've been working on so much stuff for other people, man. I said it's not that I don't have nothing to work on for myself. I said, but I've been doing so many different things, collabing and making stuff happen for people. And I was like, it's time to make something happen for me. And God revealed to me, it's nothing wrong with making stuff happen for everybody else. That's where the real blessings is in anyway. When you're doing self-centered things, that's all about you. What's in that? If you're not blessing others and being a blessing to someone in need, you're not doing anything. So if it's one thing I love about all of these brothers right here, especially, is I know that you guys are not self-centered, you know what I'm saying? And it's not all about you. And you guys, and like I said, if y'all wanted a reason to, I mean, we got top songwriters here, top Billboard charting gospel artists here. You had a reason to if you wanted to, but you're not even like that. What keeps you guys rooted and grounded in who you are? James Mabel is with us tonight, another Billboard chart gospel artist. What helps to keep you rooted and grounded, my brother?
Fellas, good evening, man. Happy to be back on this amazing platform. And Trevone, my brother, thank
I
you
love you.
for doing,
Love you,
man.
bro.
Appreciate you. Just getting in from Bible study. Y'all know how that goes.
Yeah, I already know.
But man, what keeps me humble, man? I mean, listen, the fact that the Lord God gives and the Lord God takes away. You can't be
Yes, sir.
so high and so mighty. I don't know what I've just jumped in on, but you can't be so high and mighty, man, to miss, what God has called you to do. It pays nothing to be nice, to be kind, to be humble. And what Keith Wonderboy was just saying before, right when I jumped on, people have been out here working and laying foundation and doing what they've been doing for years, and they have the right to be however they want to be. But when you understand that it is nobody but God, like unless the Lord be in the house, like your labor is in vain. And so it matters, to me, how you carry yourself, and being humble. And just saying, hey, it's all God. Like literally, I have no other answer. Period. End of story. Because I'm no better than the next man, but he's chosen me, to be on this journey and to inspire his people and to be a blessing to them. So that's what keeps me grounded.
I know that's right. And
Can I say something real quick about that, bro?
Yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, somebody just said this to me, and people, when you honor others, God honors that.
That's true.
You know what I mean? I feel like, people get on me all the time. I'm like, Jay, man, why you trying to bring so many people along with you when you doing what you're doing? I'm saying, because it's not about me. We work for the kingdom. We work for the kingdom. We don't, we're servants in this. When you let that platform overtake you, that's when you start losing it and losing the goal of what ministry is supposed to be about. Like, I mean, when you honor, I mean, it's just simple as that. When you honor others, God honors you. God honors that you put others over a high self-esteem above yourself. You know what I mean? Because that way you understand that. Listen, I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. I reached out to some cats
that are industry in the industry right now. You know what I mean? And won Grammys here lately and the whole nine. And I reached out to them just, to them just on, GP of, hey man, let's link up, let's work together. Right. And they basically told me that I don't need them. And I'm like, I said, I don't need you. So are we working for two different kingdoms?
Right. right.
You know, I mean, what do you mean I don't need you? Man, Bishop Cortez, he hooked me up with something with these cats from Spain, man, and he didn't have to do that, but he realizes that we sharpen each other. That's what I mean? When we work together and we make this, we make this about the kingdom and about us all. I'm supporting people. There's people I didn't even know, first of all, found out I was nominated in the first ballot for this stellar stuff. I'm over here supporting other people and dropping their stuff that's in the same category, because at the end of the day, it don't even matter. It's about us working together and supporting each other and lifting each other up. You know what I mean? It's bro. When you get engulfed about a piece of metal, and you start lifting that metal up higher than God. You start worshiping that like the people of God did when Moses went up into the mount. Like, you start putting an idol up above God. But when God will honor you, and I'm not saying God, the accolades and the things that happen are great, and they come, and I'm grateful for them, but that's not the focus. You know what I mean? That's not the focus. Yeah, it's cool, but it ain't the focus, man. That's all. My bad. I'm really cut you off. My bad.
No, you good. Because we was on the same page.
We on the same page. I want to say this real quick. Shout out to my mama. My mama is my #1 supporter. She's always on with us. She loves all of you guys. I gotta say that. She loves all of you guys. Mama done brought everybody music.
What's up, moms?
Once Mama see when Mama see you on the Hands Up Radio Show, she go find you. If she don't know you, she go buy your music. That's how Mama is. So thank you, Mom. Love you, Mom. My son is on here. He took a break from his rap career to check on his father tonight. I love you, son. But
nephew.
But Trey.
Yeah, he know he better be on here. We're gonna have us a Kirk situation. Go ahead. Go ahead.
But what's crazy to go back to what James and
we gonna talk about that too. But anyway, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
I'm sorry.
To go back to what James, because all of us said that. Yeah. To go back with that, what James and Jason was saying, really, if you got common sense and you was raised right, you have no other choice but to be humble.
That's right.
Because I was raised on that point. You know, my dad, he'll say that so many times. Just as good as the Lord give it to you, he'll take it all away. Like that. And think about it. Well, this is what makes you humble. If you really think and you be honest with yourself. Jason, go back. Take your mind back to 1998. GMWA, the New Artist Showcase. Here it is. You had about 25 new artists on one stage, Trey. And a lot of them were signed. They were signed to major labels back then. And now today, they're not physically dead, but their career, you don't hear from them at all.
Got you. That's the sad truth. That's the sad truth.
It's the sad truth. That's how you really, if you just look back, you have no other choice but to, you know what I'm saying, remain humble. You know what I'm saying? Because most of everybody now that been in the game, you gotta remember way back, you know what I'm saying? You can, from the top down. I can remember when Kirk Franklin first came out. I can remember Fred, anybody you name. A lot of people gotta remember when. So you gotta stay humble. Speaking of staying humble, I'm a little tight with you, Trey.
What I do?
How you got honored and you know I'm in Georgia, man. Why you ain't hit me? I would have came down there, man.
Bro, let me tell you about that. I was just talking about that myself.
Hold on, I'm gonna piggyback on that. When he said that
Go ahead.
Hinesville thing, big bro, I was like, man, I would have came and supported you, bro. I would have cheered in the audience, bro.
Let me tell y'all something. Let me tell you, there's no way these superstars could have came in the building and they would have not threw you on the stage in some kind of way. That's number one. And number two, it was a surprise. It was a surprise. They gave myself, Canton, and Pastor Mike all awards that we never knew we was getting. So I'm sorry. I thought I was coming in to do one thing.
Who sponsored this event?
K-Sound Praise Fest award show.
Isn't that the lady that got the radio station?
No, she was there, but it's not her award show. It's
okay.
not her award show.
Either way. Now, what you don't know, Hinesville, you know I'm a city country boy. Hinesville, Georgia is like, I ain't gonna say a second, but maybe a fourth or fifth home. Now, you do know the world famed drummer Tony Royster Jr.?
Yes, sir.
See, what a lot of people don't know, that's my nephew.
Oh, wow.
Tony Royster Sr., who is his dad, was my big godbrother. He used to play guitar for me and basically stay at my house with me and my daddy. My daddy raised him a couple of years. And that's when Tony Royster Jr. left New York with his family, that's where they were at, in Hinesville, Georgia. So I'd have been right at home, man.
Wow, man. Well, next time I'm in Georgia, they doing it again. And heck, next year, I'll have you guys be a part, and whoever else wants to be a part on this live, I'll have you be a part. They asked me to come.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta sometimes show your strength.
They actually
you gotta show who you family with, man.
They didn't tell me that either, and I was in Atlanta, but it's okay.
Well, how about this? I didn't know none of y'all was out there. Now everybody's in Atlanta. You in Atlanta too?
I was only there for 2 days, though.
No, my name is Bennett. Ain't in it.
I'm about to say, was you in Atlanta too? Or you live all the way in Texas? Let me find out. Everybody was in Atlanta.
I was there for 2 days.
Yeah, I didn't know, man. But I'm hosting next year, so it's my plan to have every last one of y'all on the next joint next year. And and we gonna figure out some way if everybody could just come, even if you can't bring your entourage, maybe bring some tracks and just come on. But anyway, speaking about the balance of knowing who you are, believing in yourself, and investing to get there. How important is it to invest in yourself? Anyone can take that.
For me, it's kind of what I went to earlier. I think this pandemic taught me how to find something else in myself that I was able to do. When I figured that out, I then had to invest into what I saw, which is where the cameras and the lights and the green screens and all that. So now, and then not only did I invest into me, I can now become a resource. So now for other artists who do not have those capabilities, I'm able to become a resource for a reasonable charge.
Reasonable charge, amen.
Reasonable fee. I now, okay, you don't have a thing to do your virtual stuff. You don't have the equipment. I got all the gear. Let's line out what you want to do. Let's map it out. Boom, here we go. You need to record in front of a green screen and we can go on Adobe Premiere, get your whole thing set up, make it real nice. I got the studio right here. We can do all your tracks and your video right here at the spot. It's just, but it was an investment in myself that now became a resource for other people. And then ultimately becomes another stream of income.
See.
Yeah.
Wait, who's watching TV? Who is doing that to us today? Who is doing that?
The person that just pushed mute?
No, they didn't push mute because I still hear it. Who is watching TV? Is Keith, is that you? Keith Wonderboy, you are not going to watch TV while we on here strip talking to these people.
Doc, he's still mad you didn't tell him you was in Georgia, Doc. That's what that's about, Doc.
Hey, man. Hey, come on, man.
Talking,
you know my equipment. I'm limited, so I don't know how to control.
As I'm talking, I'm hearing, and you can get your products at Walmart. Hell 9. Soul Glow. I'm hearing all the commercials in the background.
Yo.
Oh my God. Oh my God. This is Keith. Yeah, we can count on Keith to do this to us. We can count on him. Yo, but
you know, I'll be scared. I'll be scared to hit the mute button because I'll be on knock the whole thing off.
Oh my God.
My bad.
But speaking of investing in yourself and know the importance of it, on top of that, artists is always looking for a quick fix, it seems like. I don't think there's no quick fix, and I don't think there's any shortcuts. Because if it was, I think anybody or somebody on this live would have found it already, or maybe you did find it. Let us know. Is there a such thing? Maybe you found it. Maybe you found it. That's why y'all on TV. Maybe you found it. So, is there a such thing as fast tracking the process? Can you fast track this process?
Can I say something?
Go ahead, Brody.
So, I'll say this. Everybody is not blessed or favored because everybody's plan is particularly just cut out for them and how God has shaped their journey.
Mm-hmm.
Some people came into the industry with a name, with a platform, with a stage, with thousands of followers that literally viewers that turned into supporters, listeners, streamers, all that good stuff. But that's not everybody's story, include me.
Right.
I'm a grassroots country boy from Navasota, Texas, living here in Houston. But, I was on Sunday Best 12 years ago. See? Nobody, quote unquote, remembers a James Maple Jr. from season 2. And so just getting back to the industry in 2019, getting under Greg, Uncle G line, shout out to Uncle G.
Shout out to him.
Listening. My manager and production team, my executive producers in the chat as well, Pastor Dow Jackson, and a host of producers, Sean Keys, Lucius Hoskins, the whole nine. But if you don't have that kind of platform, it is no fast track. You have to literally earn your way, grind it out, work your process, and just lock in. Because I can see why those who are old heads in our industry have that kind of spirit. Is like, look, I paid my dues, you got to pay yours too.
You got to.
Get to where you are. No, don't get me wrong. God does favor. God smiles upon it all. But I believe that's just in anything. You have to earn your way. And when God sees you being faithful and sees you pressing your way, and as Jason was saying, honoring others, clapping when others win, and genuinely meaning it, God knows that. He knows when you for real.
He knows.
And he knows when you just saying, oh, it's all good. You look at it with a side eye. But no, to me, there's no fast track unless you've come in a family that already had a platform, or in a situation to where you just get on the mic just because of who you are, people are going to follow you. But that's not the majority of everybody's story. And like I said, that's me. I'm including that, man. You gotta work.
Yeah.
Listen, I want to add something to that if I can.
Go ahead, bro.
I think we're also living in a society that social media has made some people able to fast track. You can get on social media and you can do a run challenge, a Jasmine Sullivan insecure challenge, and all of a sudden you got 4 million viewers. And then after that, and so there are some fast tracks. But let me tell you what I've been noticing though. A lot of these cats, once they fast track like that, a lot of them burn out quickly because they feel like if they're not constantly on that fast track, then they're not being successful, or their gift is not valued, or they feel like they're not making the impression that they should. I was watching somebody who been in the industry, the relatively young. They was in the industry like about 5 years, and they said they were retiring. And I laughed at it because to me it was funny. I was like, so you're retiring after 5 years now? I know some people, they work one project for 10, but you're retiring after 5 years?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, because they said the industry don't appreciate my gift and all the work I put into it. And so, and I chuckled again. I was like, you do know some people been doing this for 35, 40 years. You know what I'm saying?
Longer than you.
Right. And so when I looked at it, it made me think about how sometimes when you fast track like that, you lose the value of the process.
Wow.
You lose the value of phase 1 and phase 2 and having to go to this church and having to be last on the midnight musical, not performing till 2:37 a.m. or you have to go in and the preacher said that they're gonna have you to preach, but then you end up singing, and you end up singing, 2 minutes before the service is over, and people walking out and they ain't listening to you.
They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about it.
They don't know nothing about it. So they get upset if they lose. So they get upset if they lose 50 followers out of their 2.7 million, because they didn't put up a post today, or they didn't like this song today, or they didn't like when I did this version today, so I'm gonna quit. So I think there's something about the process that builds character, that builds tenacity, that builds appreciation. Because when you work for something and you really honor it, then you're gonna appreciate it more, and you're gonna build on that more. Now, as my brother James said, there are some people, who are born into a lineage, who are born into a family, they have a platform. And I think for those, because many of us will have children, and they may say, well, the Mabel dynasty, they just born into it, or whomever the case may be. I think it's for us. And I'm gonna say one thing I appreciate about, I just use the Clark dynasty as an example. I appreciate, Karen Clark and Bishop Sheard, for instilling in Kiara, you got to honor this gift. You got to honor what Dr. Matty Moss gave you. You know what I'm saying? Just because you can sing don't mean nothing. You still got to live holy. You still got to live righteous. And so I think it's a responsibility for our big brothers, for our big sisters, our mothers and fathers in the industry to let a person know, if you fast track, let me give you some wisdom on how to appreciate this, because this season is fleeting. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Wow.
Trey, if I can just throw this in,
Go ahead, Bishop.
I think the fast track, and I know we're all men on here, but the women that are watching will appreciate this. The fast tracks rob you of your trimesters.
It does. It does.
And I think there's a difference between fast tracking and favor tracking.
Woo, Bishop.
Come on.
Because we'll say because we don't know the difference between a fast track. A fast track is, I made it happen. I did this. I got there overnight. My grandfather would say, if you get there overnight, you'll lose it in a day.
Wow.
But when it's a favor track, that means God had already preordained, laid it out for you, and all you had to do was be obedient and then walk that thing out. But when God favor tracks you, he will always make sure there are different things in there to sustain your ability to mentally, emotionally, and psychologically register what's going on and have an appreciation for where you are. That's just my belief. So it is my job as a father. My son just won he was in his first talent show for his school. He's a senior.
I saw that.
Yeah, he just won it last night. And one person made a comment, you only won because your dad did it. Well, that's what his dad's supposed to do. His dad is supposed to say, no, son, let's do it this way, because this is the way you do this. He has his own YouTube page. He has his own all that he's doing. But that's the benefit of me being his dad. And I had to tell him yesterday, never apologize for where you come from. If your dad is good at what he does and God has favored you to take on whatever that is and be extended, because my son gonna be that brother got it. I mean, he got it. And I'm pushing him, but I'm not gonna apologize, nor am I not gonna push him because I want him. No, you're gonna have to suffer through. Man, please. I don't want him to suffer through none of the stuff I had to go through, because I believe God operates like this. God's already ordained some things for him to walk through, for God to prove himself to him. So I don't want to add to that because I went through this, you're going to go through this and you're going to go. No, man, the stuff I went through, it almost made me not want to ever do music again.
Wow.
I'm going to leave that there.
Wow.
It almost made me, because I was like, I'll just stick to preaching, man. I don't need all this.
Wow.
I mean, you talking about Kirk, I was Kirking all over the place. I was like, I gotta go through this, man. Gotta do the Kirk.
That's the new line. Don't make me do the Kirk on you now.
Don't make me Kirk you. It literally drove me to that place. So I think there's a difference between fast tracking and favor tracking. I believe when you stay in the will of God and you do, now the statistics do say it takes 20 years to be an overnight success.
It does. It does. It does.
So I was the music pastor at the age of 16. So I've been doing this for a long time. Playing for lemon meringue pies, not money. Lemon meringue pies.
But they don't want to hear me though. They don't want to hear me though.
Baskets.
They don't want to hear me.
And going to the hotels and you go in there and you the guest artist and you the main artist and you the headliner and they got a paper plate with an orange, an apple, a grape. Not a thing of grapes. I'm talking about a couple of grapes that are just spread out on the table. I'm talking about where they leave you at the airport.
Come on, Doc, I've seen it.
Because they forgot about you. And everybody, man, I need to be picked up in this and picked up in that. Listen, that kind of stuff is different.
Man, we Jimmy rigged sound systems.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? We took Mike.
Hey, Jay, you know the
took
days
drum mics, everything.
Where the house speakers were bridged to the monitors. So if they turned the monitors up, the whole house went up.
They don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about it.
You got 10 group members and you got 2 mics for them, and then 1 mic for yourself, and that's quarter. And it's a short quarter, so you can't go nowhere.
Or you tell them what you need, and they bring it and just leave the box sitting there.
Oh my God.
So then your MD becomes the sound tech. And for 2.5 hours, we rewiring the whole sound system in church so that we can make sure that the bass guitar can go through the stage board.
Or you get there and they tell you at sound check they couldn't afford it.
Well, they tell you that then. They didn't tell you before you got there. They don't know nothing about that. They don't know nothing about it.
Or they tell you after the service that we thought we was going to be able to do this, and we know what we promised. But
so let me tell you this. Let me tell you.
Everybody ain't able to be James Mabel down there at the bend. Everybody ain't able.
We ain't able to be James Mabel and keep Wonderboy Johnson and get his cash up front.
No, I know you ain't talking to me.
He get his cash up front. He get his cash up front.
Now,
he get his cash up front.
I went through the horror stories. I know what it is. My first time at BET performing on the Bobby Jones show, it was when it was at the in Orlando at Disney World. All of my other guys I know, yeah, man, we flew in. We standing there, so we doing sound check, man. And when you go, I'm gonna go to my room. I'll meet back up. I drove to Orlando. We ain't have no room. So while in between sound check and the thing start, I was walking around. I got a chance to experience one of them big old turkey legs, and that was my lunch. Then did not have a keyboard player. Told the guy, said, yo, hey man, it was like, all right, all the dudes that said, I mean, I helped you. All of them disappeared in like a school choir sung right before me. So I ain't had no other choice. Like, hey man, you gonna play a little keys? Like, sure. Now he's supposed to be playing mains. He went straight to a flute sound or something. Man, I got horror stories, Doc.
Yo,
horror.
That's what made it what it is today, though, which is why we're able to have conversations about this.
And
yes,
that's the problem with fast tracking.
You miss all of those stuff.
Trimesters that prove that what you birth can live.
Wow.
Because without having those trimesters, you will birth out something that cannot be sustained and it cannot live.
That is good.
Hardship, when my trimesters are right, I can live through those hardships and I can live through that pain.
I need all 66 of you that's in that chat right now to put them hands up if Bishop Cortez Vaughn is talking to you. Oh my God.
Please. My journey prepared me for today.
Yes, sir.
I started when we had the Bible of the industry, the Gospel Roundup. And it had.
I remember that. You had to go to the.
It goes to the section. Yeah. Because I was one of those. I was determined I'm going to be signed. I want to be signed to a label. I was looking at the top of the mountain. The labels, that was like a 15-page segment right there, back and forth. That many labels. I got rejected by everyone. Every last one looked me in my face
But
and
that
said,
but that didn't stop him from winning all 18 of the Stellas he got in there.
right. Because
didn't
guess
stop
what?
him.
I was forced to invest in myself, get with an independent, at that time, independent lay person like Kerry Douglas, and we worked. We invested in
And now he's a
ourselves.
machine.
You know what I'm saying? We invested in ourselves and got to going. So I can't get back from I wouldn't take that back.
Keith, real quick, I want to touch on that point before we. I was watching. Y'all know, this is a gospel show, and you know, I don't want to offend anybody, but I watch and monitor success in all genres.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all know Jay-Z just signed that deal with the champagne company. I don't drink it, okay, but I'm just saying he signed the deal. Listen to what I'm saying. Don't miss the blessing of this. When Jay-Z first came out back in the early 2000s, they was promoting Cristal. Cristal said, we don't want them marketing our brand. We don't want them black, Negroes drinking our stuff or whatever. Fine, whatever have you. Even though we the one that makes everything popular anyway. You know what I'm saying? If we don't wear it, if we don't drink it, it ain't popping. You know what I'm saying? But they didn't want him marketing their stuff because they felt it was tainting their image. Long story short, many years later, look at where they're at and look at where he's at. And he was on Good Morning America, and they said, how do you feel about this multi-million-dollar deal you just signed with this company? He said, and they was like, we remember that time when Cristal was saying they basically didn't want you marketing them. He said, I feel vindicated. And he said, Rockefeller was never supposed to be this major machine. He said, I wanted what everybody else wanted. I came into the business trying to get a record deal. They wouldn't give me one. So we had to create it. And that inspired me. And now look at him. He's a mogul. Can't nobody really see this man. You know what I'm saying? That inspired me to let me know you better believe in you even when they don't.
But hold on. No, let's stay on that because we talked about that. Look at. I'm sorry to be eating in y'all face, but
now you're making me hungry. You making me
look good though, bro.
I just rehearsed my choir on the hood, so I started on the hood spot. It was still open.
Go ahead, Brody.
Everybody, was it been 10 years now that invested in what's his streaming platform?
Titus.
Okay, so let's go back to talking about everybody on their way up, or everybody in their moment. He brought them all together at the table. This is what we need to do in gospel.
Right.
Gospel, we got to figure it out. He brought everybody to the table 10 years ago and said, look, everybody invest $100,000 into this streaming platform. Everybody just stream from this. But he just gave all of them, just got a check a piece, 8.9 million.
See?
A piece 10 years later. Because they invested, and he was trying to show them, and this is our problem. We are not showing everybody what to do to become successful. So the problem is you got different pockets of people that are working together and are trying to make it happen, when the ones that should be showing or should be doing it, we have missed the era, and now we have to try to figure it out and do it in this moment to where there's no reason why all of us, everybody, all the gospel artists that have been grinding their way up and moving and doing what they're doing shouldn't have some type of stability and success.
Especially the ones at the top. I got what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying? And so to what you were saying, it's a team effort. If you already up, then show me the tools to get up. And then once we, like the hip hop, the rappers do. Sometimes I go back and I study them and I watch, what they do, even though. Go ahead, Bishop.
I'm gonna ask you a question right on that point. And again, I'm just asking. So from the way I think, could that be that they know how to keep business and personal?
Wow.
Because it seems like with us, our emotions run everything.
That's powerful. That's a powerful point.
That's true, man.
And another thing to that point, I want to say this. Most of the time, if we aren't the ones that's the spearhead, me and Diedrich was talking about this when I had him on. If we are not the spearhead of it,
We don't want to be a part of it.
we don't want in. If it ain't my show, if I ain't running it, I don't want in. If it ain't my platform, I'm not coming on Trey platform. If it ain't my platform, I'm not coming on Jay platform. That's stupidity. That's just stupidity. But you got people that think like that.
Because we don't know how to think past that place.
Right.
But in all actuality, this is what could literally happen right now. And I think, what's my guys? Oh my God, Lil Wayne, them, they were all together.
You talking about the Hot Boys, the Young Money?
Money?
Yeah. What this is what in light of what they did, it's as easy as Trevone, Trey's doing his thing Thursday night.
Right.
I want to do a Zoom to talk about something else that may be just music related or something else.
Right.
And I need some fellas who can jump on there with me and help me talk.
Correct.
Why not get mad at Trey because he killing Thursday, figure out a different day and then say, hey, Trey, I need you to come help me do. It's like these cats all would do a record together, go away, do their own separate solo projects, come back together, Cash Money, come back together, do an album together, go back out. They didn't like each other half the time, couldn't stand each other sometimes, but they
Master P did it.
Though.
Master P did it. Uncle G will tell you, Master P and them did it. No Limit Soldiers, they did it. Master P, they told Master P it couldn't be done.
The biggest thing for this is this. It's an insecurity thing too.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm not intimidated by what James can do.
Right.
Not intimidated by what Bishop Cortez and what Keith can do and what Trevone can do. But I celebrate that. So
that's what we're supposed to do.
And we celebrate each other and we work to figure out how do we make it happen together. Right. We're not gonna always have the answers. We're not gonna always know as far, but there are resources out there that it can happen. You know, and so those that have the resources have to not be afraid to invest.
I agree.
When the plan is set out properly. So I think that the thing about it too is it's the levels of insecurity with, you know, it's the feelings. It's like, come on, man, move past your feelings.
Feelings work a lot of areas. Like for instance, I'll be real transparent. I had an opportunity, and I don't think it's left me, but I have an opportunity to do something that I really wanted to do. I have reached out to Jason. I was like, dude, I got a chance to do this. This is more of your lane. Can you help me? Jason said, yo, I'll help you. Just send me what you got. We'll make it work. I got cold feet and got real scared. I was like, nah, I ain't doing it because I didn't want to deal with failure. I didn't want to feel like I submitted something and it didn't work. I was like, no. So I totally left it hanging. And I got in my feelings, not because nobody did nothing to me, but it was like literally instantly the enemy, like, and this is just me being real honest. The enemy was like, yo, that's major, man. I don't know if you want to, you know, if you don't. And I was like, you sure right. And I preach about this stuff.
Right. That's real. That's real though. That is real.
I preach about this stuff.
That's real.
And I still let the enemy. And now I'm thinking, Jason, I got to repent. So I'm sorry, Jay. We're gonna get it straight.
No, we got to, man.
I'm gonna work on it this week and get you what I got. Cool. Then we'll take it from there.
Let's do it.
But I'm repenting to God. I'm repenting to Jay because I called him. And see what I don't, and the reason I'm saying it, and then it's on social media too. That's pretty crazy. It's probably a private conversation. But I'm saying it's hopefully to help somebody, because here it is, somebody willing. This is the point I'm making with this. I got a brother who said, I'm willing to help you. James, I'll be in Houston in a couple of weeks, so I'll let you know what's up. I got a brother that said, I'm willing to help you do what you want to do, and then I flake on him.
Well, that's real. But you know what? That's real.
But he was willing to help me.
And somebody's on here that needs to hear that tonight.
But I flaked on him because I had confidence in him, but lost confidence in myself.
Wow.
Ooh,
that's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep.
So now I have to repent. Lord, forgive me. I'm repenting to Jay for calling him in the first place and not following through because he's a businessman. So if he's going to say, I'm going to help you, bro, then my job is to come through on my end. So how many times in this relationship stuff have we reached out to people and not followed through with our end of the deal to make sure things happen and then say we don't have no opportunities?
Wow. Wow.
Wow. That's deep, because there's a lot of people, like everybody wants to be a gospel artist. Everybody wants to put a song out.
They want
everybody shouting.
Jason, I'm gonna say this. Everybody don't want to be a gospel artist. Everybody want to be a star.
Okay, yeah, okay. Everybody want to
be and sing their version of gospel music. There it is.
Right. But it's in those moments that God opens the door. Are you prepared? You know what I mean? And that's a key. And when God puts you in the position in the relationship, or puts you in the place to where you can do this, or you can help, or you can make this happen, or are you prepared for that moment?
Right.
You know what I mean? So if you say, God, I need you to do this, God, I want to submit my songs. You know, I want to do this, I want to do this, but then you got 2 songs done.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? You got 2 songs done, and you're trying to figure it out. You got 2 songs, but you want to shop your songs. You know what I mean? With 2, you know, I'm just saying, like in the moments that are happening and that open up and that God opens the door for you. Are you able and are you ready? Right here. Are you able and are you ready for those moments, so that when they do happen, you're ready to roll? Bishop, you already know I'm waiting whenever.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I appreciate you for that. And James, we talked about some stuff, you know what I mean? And you know, it's just positioning and getting it ready in the proper time. Like I told somebody the other day, I said, look, you know, I know these people are looking for songs. So shoot me some stuff. You know what I mean? I'm because what happens is this, and this is it. Chris Brown and Drake, and I'm using them because that's the example. When one of them said, they did interviews, and one of them said, well, when I'm in the club, I hear all of Drake's songs. And then one of them said, well, when I'm in the club, I hear all of Chris Brown's songs. So why not do a song together? And and they put let bygones be bygones, and did one of the biggest songs ever to hit R&B and hip hop, because they were able to put the foolishness aside and focus on, like Bishop said, the bigger picture.
And that is it. At the end of the day, what's the bottom line? James Mabel, you seem like you got something to say.
Just say, going back a couple of statements in terms of our communities again coming together and just being one. Being a PhD and a researcher, man, my head was just spinning as both Bishop and Jay were talking. If we can just go back to the Willie Lynch letter in the 1600s and go back to the main 3 words in that letter, and that the slave master said, this is what we're going to instill in these Negroes, and that is fear, distrust, and jealousy amongst themselves.
Wow.
It was in the 1600s, and
wow.
It was 2021. And people have this fear as if I share or if I help somebody else with my platform, then that's going to dim my light. No, it doesn't.
No.
It shows how great of a person you are to be able to, again, as Grandma was saying, what you make happen for other people, God make happen for you.
Great people make great people.
Absolutely. Distrust and jealousy. It's just that spirit has been hovering over our people for so long. Like what Jason was saying, there are pockets of things that are happening, but just imagine,
bro,
if we could all literally pray against that, and it doesn't matter, it's across denomination. It doesn't matter. It has been in our community, and it has hindered us for years. And that's why we can't simply do things like come together in this gospel industry, especially if we say we team Jesus. Like I just, for the life of me, still can't figure it out, man.
But you just said something. You said something so key and vital here. But what they used to call it in the olden days is the house Negro syndrome. You know what I'm saying? Versus the field Negro. You know what I'm saying? And that, you know, we fighting to be approved by this academy and that academy. They ain't thinking nothing about your behind anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know, the Grammys was not created for us. Thank God we got some. It wasn't created for us. The Dove Awards, I'm sad to say, they was not created for us. You know what I'm saying? And the CCM world was not created for us. Every gospel artist wants to be that because they know that's where some money is. That was not created for us. Be who God has created you to be. If God has given you CCM, do it. Whatever. If he's given you neo soul type field gospel, do it. Giving you rap, do it. This is one of the things that me and Pastor Nelson was talking about last time we were on. Parody. Because I asked him, what was his fear for the industry? He felt that there is no more parody left. And that saddens me. When I look on this screen, I see so much parody just between the five of us. Keith Wonderboy and Bryan that was on early, Chris that was on, Keith Wonderboy Johnson, Cortez Vaughn could do anything. Jason come with the choir and then he could switch it up and do CCM. James Mabel give you some whole country down singing, but he could flip it and do something else too. You know, and then I do what I do. Everybody on here does something different, and that's what I love. We need to see this in the industry and be accepting of it and not say, because you're not doing this type of music or this type of song, I'm out on you.
I watched the Louisville Orchestra this morning. I rehearsed with them. I'm doing a show with them on Sunday night, talking about the journey of Black music. And I watched them, all white orchestra with one Black dude in it, flip Dougie Fresh's, Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh's song today. I watched them, a full orchestra, 10 minutes, Dougie Fresh shit on. I mean, a whole orchestra flip that song. Anything can be done. You're not gonna tell me these older white folks, 50 and 60 and 45 and 50 and 60, playing Dougie Fresh on clarinets and bassoons and violins and timpanis. What? We can do whatever we want to do. We got more power than we act. It's like you got, but I get it. I get it. It's like we have a diesel truck, but we keep trying to put unleaded fuel in it.
Yikes.
Watch it, Jay.
Yikes. Yikes.
I understand. So you got a diesel truck. You got a diesel truck with a 18. You got an 18-wheeler with all of this talent in the back. Amazing. And we can win more souls and win more people for the kingdom. But you every time you stop, you put unleaded fuel in it.
Wow, that's crazy. So basically, what I hear when you saying that, we keeping ourselves back.
We holding ourselves back.
we hold, and that's juice that he's drinking in his cup. I know it looks nice.
I promise you, yeah, it is. My son didn't finish it, so I just want to tell you, I got my can.
You did a little swing on us.
Yeah, I just want to let you know.
I don't want to get no call. They Trevone, you know, you gotta be careful. But anyway, go ahead, Bishop. You sound like
the bad part about holding our own selves back is we don't allow and I, you know, this is just where my head always is. So forgive me if it sounds redundant. And I always sometimes go back to this part. But by holding ourselves back, we set back another generation.
That's true. Wow.
And I think if we don't start to comprehend that,
because they can't become if we don't become.
They can't, and they become a byproduct of what they see.
Right.
But what happens is they end up fighting battles that we should have won.
Wow.
So they're fighting things in an industry
Confirmation
that they shouldn't have to fight, that we should have won. We don't have to march on Selma because Martin and John Lewis already did it.
Come on, Bishop.
But if we don't march on our own Selma and our own Edmund Bridges, then our children have to keep fighting through stuff, keep pushing through stuff. There's some stuff that my dad and them should have killed that I gotta fight.
Wow.
And if I don't kill it for this generation, my kids are gonna have to fight the battles that I should have won.
Wow.
That's the battle.
That is so powerful. That, you know what's crazy is when you said children are a product of their environment, you know, and I believe it's good for children to see. But just like children are a product of their environment, success leaves clues. We're all standing on somebody who's already successful shoulders. All of us. We're all here because we're standing on somebody who was already great shoulders. I think I was watching the Breakfast Club, and I was watching an old interview of Byron Allen. Those of you who don't know Byron Allen, you know, just Google him. Worth over 400 million right now. This dude was talking about how he started because he was exposed at an early age because his mom chose to go to school and get a master's degree, and then started working for NBC, and then was working in the publishing department. And because back in those days there was no child care, she had to take him to work. So he was around when they were doing the Richard Pryor shows and all of the top shows that was on that network back in those days. And because he was so exposed to it at such an early age, he knew automatically what he wanted to do and how to go about it. Donald Trump, for instance, we can't stand him, but he was born into wealth. He was taught the way. 9 times out of the 10, he said something so powerful. He said 9 times out of the 10, if you find a mother who failed, you'll find a child who failed. If the mother succeeds, the child will succeed. If the father succeeds, the child will succeed. And on that note, how important is it to make sure that, I mean, we're not just living for us. We're living for our sons, and all of us are fathers on here. I think everybody except James and Mabel, correct?
I'm a father of about 300 kids at the youth ministry at Antioch.
Oh, see, he's a father. We all got somebody looking up to us in some kind of capacity. So with that being said, with the world speaking about, he said he had 300 kids. I was like, wait a minute, James, what's going on? I was like, James, you may not want to be saying that on this live. You may not want to be saying that on this live right now, Brody.
Shout out to Antioch Baptist.
That's
Texas.
They're gonna be getting off this line. That James Mabel is just that man just is terrible. That man, I ain't buying no more of his
fruitful. Mighty fruitful.
It must be the beard. It have to be the beard.
But like, that man is terrible. I ain't buying no more of his music. He just out there just doing everything. Let me say. But with that being said, with fatherhood and how tough it is, what are we all feeling about the Kirk situation? Our big brother Kirk in the gospel. What are we all feeling about that? Everybody else had an opinion. I don't really have. I hated that. What do we feel? Because you have a son. I know what would happen if he would disrespect you. I mean, you may well not go Kirk on him, but you know what I mean. You know.
I feel that's that man and that's his house.
Correct.
Come on.
Yeah.
All right. I love it.
Me personally,
I hate when we make our comments and we don't know all of the context of something or what somebody else has chosen. I'm not talking about him or his son. I'm talking about social media, what they choose to emphasize on or whatever. That man is now I hate that social media has done what it has to do, what it has done to the whole situation, but that's that man's house. And I ain't got nothing to say about it.
I hate even more that his son aired that, if anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you
go
ahead.
I'm gonna say this. I respect him even more. The fact that when I watched the interview, I respect what I got out of it. Is I respect him that he still wants to try to work it out with his son.
Fact.
You know what I mean? That's a real man.
Fact.
He's a man. You know what I mean? I ain't got to get into everything that happened. I don't know. But the fact of the matter, stop. What are you doing? No, I did not. No, I did not. The
You better
fact of the
go
matter.
sit down. You better go sit down.
You better have a more.
You better go sit down. You better sit down.
You see me? I was like, hold up.
You going live now? You better go sit
Yeah, I know I
down.
gotta be careful. Y'all look, I see it live on Facebook. The fact of the matter is the man still wants to work it out with his son.
Yes,
Period. And he's gonna still seek help. And that's a real man, man. Like, leave that man alone. Let him be. Like, I mean, that's his household, and let him deal with what he got to deal with his house. You know what I mean? Everybody need to shut up and deal with their own houses.
I agree.
I know. The way I was raised, I wouldn't have never been that courageous. And I came up under the summer, like, you know, I'm from New York, but my pop's from South Carolina and New York. So it all depends. And I came up on that. It takes a village. Now, I'm telling you, we all friends, and Kurt Franklin is what you would call my industry associate. So are we giving the proper answer, or are we giving the truth answer?
You giving how you feel about it.
Yeah, give it how you want.
How you give it.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. If Kurt Franklin was my friend, like my boy, my dude, I would, and I would consider him my nephew. I would try his jaw for Kurt. I would tell him, when I see you, you got one coming.
Right. That's right. That's right.
That's just right. How I was raised. By my uncles or whatsoever. You disrespect your father on that level, he the one that, you know, all this, he provided for you, and you is an opportunist like that. I mean, I'd have went to his jaw myself.
All my uncles coming from me. All of them.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I wish my nephew would disrespect my brother like that in some type of way. And you're gonna put that on social media. I'm gonna put you on social media when I find you. And it won't be nice. I mean, that's just because that's how we were raised. You know what I mean? Now, you know, now there's the second side to it. The kid trying to say neglect and all of this stuff. And what I think it is. I don't know. I'm only going off from what Kurt said and what he said, what the son said, from what and close friends of the family. This has been a problem with this young man because, you know, Kurt has another family, obviously. He's the firstborn. And, you know, sometimes how the firstborns can feel, you know, they may feel like they're not getting their just due. But at this point, you are a grown man. And
33.
Take advantage of whatever opportunities you can get by this man being your father. There's a lot of people that would love that to be their father, and just so they can take advantage of the opportunities. And I get it that most kids don't see it that way because they're only concerned about their bottom line. But either way, it was ugly the way it happened. Like I said, it's none of my business. It's none of anybody's business, but being that it was being talked about all over the Wendy Williams show and this show and that show, I said, I guess we got to bring light to it because the first time when, you know, the first thing that said when something like this goes down, look at the church, people. Look at the church.
Well, too, Trey, and I'm not even, not necessarily what Kirk said, but I want to make a general statement. If that would have been somebody else, if that would have been an R&B artist,
nobody wouldn't care.
The story would have been, that's what we need is more real men to take charge of these kids.
That's a fact.
They don't know how to respect their elders.
That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
But because, and I get it, the story, we supposed to handle things differently. We supposed to this, okay. But as a father, nobody knows my children better than me. My children have, now this is personally, my children have different temperaments. So I have to use different tactics depending on which child I'm talking to.
Got it.
So I may have to handle one of my sons different than the other because that's the only way I can get through to him on particular subject. Not you, I'm talking about period. On particular subject.
And these sons, they close tonight.
each kid, you have to deal with them different. If you got 3 and you go into the store, you have one kid that you can tell, now listen, don't touch nothing, don't ask me for nothing, and then we getting in the car. Then they'll listen. Then you got the kid number 2 that'll be like, listen, listen to me good right now. Don't touch nothing, don't ask for nothing, and we gonna leave. Then you got that third one, and you got to grab them. Listen, little nigga, I'll punch you in your face. Don't try me. Wherever you show out, that's where I'm gonna wear you out.
That was the kind of kid I was. You had to get up you had to get up.
Yes.
That's the kind of son I was. I ain't gonna even front. I gave my father.
I'll be honest. I thank God for my pops, man. My father told me. See, Kirk's still young. My father told me when I was in my little disrespectful stage and I thought I was a man, my father told me I still got a little in me. I will kill you and go and make me another son. he said I still got a little spunk in me. I will kill you and go and make another one.
There's more where you can.
Yes, if you think about disrespecting me.
In fact, and please. And let me tell you something. They didn't have to be right. It didn't matter. That's your parents. You know. At the end of the day, my uncle's on here. He said, "Trey, you should have linked me in on this conversation." I said, "I didn't know we were going it up."
Man.
But the truth of the matter is, it was an ugly situation. I believe they'll get past it. That's the ugly part, though, is that I do believe they'll get past it, but the damage is already done. I don't know what to say from here. Hopefully, them two can heal from this.
Pray for him.
But I know Kirk is hurt. I know he's devastated. I would be.
There's no way he can't be.
I know he's devastated. Yeah.
Because now the whole world has been brought into something that should have remained private.
Yeah.
How is it that what happens in Vegas can stay in Vegas, but what happens in your house can't?
Nope, just can't.
Mm-hmm. Since
we should have never known what happened in that conversation between a father and a son.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But let me go a step further. Between 2 grown men.
At that. Mm-hmm. It was not child abuse.
So my statements that I ain't on Kurt, no, that's a grown man. It's 2 grown men. My thing is social media and the world shouldn't have had a say-so or input, but because we live in a society who loves and thrives off of tearing people down.
Mm-hmm. And I hate that. I hate that. I hate that. But once again, we're praying for Kirk and his family. We love you, Kirk. I guess that means we will still be supporting him. I'm waiting for the next album because he's really going to write now. I know he's really going to write, and he's going to make the enemy mad because I believe he's going to let his son come back and they're going to do some wonderful, powerful work with each other.
I look at Kurt in another way now. He puts I ain't believe he had them. He was able to put them them combinations together. Yes.
What is wrong with you, Keith?
Yes. I was like, yes, Kurt.
Well,
put it together.
This is, you know what's crazy though? You know how the world does publicity stunts when they're coming out with a new project and all this stuff.
Yeah.
They'll do foolishness like this so that you can go buy their album.
Yeah,
I guess his next album is going to just be through the door on the roof.
He already won. He was on, what's her name? That's one of the hottest shows out there.
The Tamara Hill show.
Yes, the Tamara Hill. He already. I'll be like, go and post another video, son. Thank you. You about to make me hot again.
He didn't want that attention though. I know he didn't want that attention. Lord Jesus. With that being said, in today's society, with relevancy, is there a such thing as doing too much to maintain your level of relevancy, or what does relevancy means to you as an artist? Anybody?
Beat that again.
Well, it means something, but
So look, so this is a two-part question.
Huh.
In this day and time when everybody's trying to do what they can do to stay relevant, in order to maintain that level of relevancy, is there a such thing as doing too much, or what is staying relevant to you? What is it that you're not doing in this season to be relevant?
I think there's always a thing of doing too much. You can always overdo everything. But I think this has like been an ongoing thing for the times I've been in. I think that's where your connections kind of come in, and then who your accountability places are. Because I think those places of connection will let you know, no, that's a little, let's bring, and I think being relevant is sometimes a product of having multiple individuals for counsel to help you do what you do. So me being relevant, I know what Dr. James does. I know what Keith Wonderboy, I know what Jason does. So for me to be relevant, I can look at what they're doing and be like, okay, let me have a conversation with them about X, Y, Z, if they can help me, or they can help steer me, or they can be a part of what I'm doing. And I think that's the part, because, and I'm done, I think part of being relevant is creating what needs to be next.
Don't y'all just love it? How he just
That is so good. He done gave the benediction 3 or 4 times.
He already did. It's over. It's over. We out of here. But with that being said, live in purpose. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to. Why hate? Just live in purpose. And that came to me because you never have to hate. When most time people are hating because they know that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
You know what's crazy? I posted that today. I said, man, if you
yeah,
a friend,
I wanted to talk about that. Yes, sir. I love that. I gave 100s on it. Yes, sir. I love that.
Hey, tell us, Jay.
Yo, I said, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, go back and share that.
Remember what I said.
I know what you said, but I want you to say it.
I said, an unsupportive friend is a hater too.
Wow. That's good. An unsupportive friend is a hater too. Watch out! Wow. Watch out for those who aren't clapping when you win.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, yeah. I'm gonna say this. They watched me go from being the writer, and it was okay, it was cool when I was just the writer and being nominated.
Correct.
But now being the artist and being nominated, ain't half of them ain't saying nothing, because they never thought. See, people think that they control your destiny.
Wow. Wow.
No, God controls that. No. And the fact of the matter is I'm still celebrating everybody else, because at the end of the day,
exactly,
we all about kingdom work, or are we?
That's the question.
Yeah.
To be or not to be.
Or are we just enjoying the different levels of the platforms when they come?
That's real good.
Or are we kingdom in the high moments and not kingdom when the low moments happen? So everybody supports you in your high moment, but when you low and you in a lull season, you feel like you're not getting support just because you ain't at the top no more. That does not mean who establishes the top?
Listen.
Who establishes that? I feel on top right now just because.
Relative.
But Jason, it's because we attach our worth to accolades.
We do. And the approval of our peers.
Yeah, when the greatest thing about Jesus Christ is not the miracles. It's the death.
Wow.
and the resurrection.
Come on.
Oh,
Out
God.
of all those miracles that happened,
Come on.
the only thing that saved me
Come on.
was his death
Yes,
That's
sir.
the only
and his
thing.
resurrection.
That's the only thing.
Him crucified.
You hear me?
Yeah.
And accolades ain't all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because the thing that got David in trouble was a song he didn't even write.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
So we can catch our worth.
Bishop, hold on. Elaborate on that. The song that he didn't write, though. Elaborate that on it real quick.
Out of all the songs David sung, out of all the songs he played and the demon left Saul. But the song that got him hated, he had nothing to do with. Saul has killed his 1,000, but David has killed his tens of thousands. David had nothing to do with that song, but because Saul was so stuck on accolades and getting props from people, when he felt like he lost his edge, he turned to killing the person who was sent to help him.
Don't kill the help.
Industry of people
don't
who
kill
are
the help.
starting to lose their edge.
Don't kill the
and
help.
Now they're trying to kill the people who were sent to help them.
Jesus, we killing the help. Don't kill the help. That's powerful.
And that ain't just the industry, that's the church. Some of these leaders that should be retiring, should be moving off the scene, are going to have created awesome works, but are going to watch it die because they too jealous to let it go. But that's not for this segment. God bless you.
There's a changing of the guards, and they're not ready for the shift. They want to sit in the seat still. When your season is up, your season is up. This is why you should die empty or leave the seat empty. Do whatever you have to do. That way you don't have to hate on nobody in life. If I've done all that I can do, I can stand here and truly be happy for James. If I've done all that I can do, I can stand here and be truly happy for Jason and anybody else, because I know I've maximized my full potential to the best of my ability. You want to know how you can make it in this industry? Like I tell you before, success always leaves clues. Do not be scared to ask for advice. Do not be scared. These are all my brothers in here. We always connecting and talking in different ways. You know what I'm saying? That you probably would never even know. You know what I'm saying? But if it's any way I can help James, I'm going to help any way I can help Jay. I'm going to help him any way they can help me. I'm sure they're going to do it. I'll call. Be like, yo, let's do this and let's do that. I'll call him and ask him for advice, and he talks to me. That's what we got. We can't be scared to do that.
Jeffrey Golden said these 3 things that stuck out to me, and maybe we need to get him on here one time when we do this.
Let's set that up. Set that up.
Well, I'm gonna make that happen. Because
I had him on a show some years ago, but yeah, let's do that again.
Yeah, we make that happen, man. Because that boy got oil on him, and he said these 3 things that stuck with me. He said, I took notes when he was talking, so I want to make sure. He said, these are the 3 things as an artist that you should know before your artistry. What is your kingdom purpose? What has he called me to do that transcends my artistry?
Wow.
So what is your kingdom purpose? What are your ministry priorities? What is it that you want to get out of what you're doing?
Wow.
And then what is your industry practices? And what's crazy about that is before the industry, we flipped it. Everybody wants the industry practices, but don't want to go through the other processes.
How is
to
that
know.
possible?
It's like, how do you want the platform and the stage without the process of knowing? Even if I ask you, what are you called to? Who are you called to? Do you even know that?
They'll say they call to the masses. What is the masses? Who is the masses?
And then what are your priorities behind your ministry?
Why are you doing it?
I told my choir tonight, we are ministry focused first.
Yes, sir.
Industry is secondary. When you forget that ministry is your focus, then you have negated the fact that this industry will not work. You'll just be searching for a platform and not focusing on ministering to the people,
Wow.
you will miss it. And a lot of people have turned that down, boy. A lot of people have.
Every time we talk to his kids now, James start laughing like, "Oh boy,
listen,
don't you get Kirk? Don't you get Kirk?
No,
you better."
No, but you have put the platform. I had to catch myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be honest. I caught myself. I said, Lord, forgive me. I said, because I never want to be so, because you could, it's a thin line, but trying to be business and make sure you handle all your business right, to where you start glorifying that a little bit more and not remaining focused on ministry. Ministering to the people. How did you get here? I said, go back, watch some old videos of you singing when you was a kid. Watch some old videos of when it was 2 people in the church and nobody was listening to your music. Go back and watch the concert where it was packed in the room and you was teaching and singing everybody else's songs before you had your own. Remember where you came and the process that you had to go through, so that you won't forget that it was the yearn for God and the ministry that you had, which allowed the elevation to happen.
I love that.
So again, Jason, we're back to trimesters. That's what it is. There's a place where when you make it through the 3 necessary trimesters, you're able to be birthed into nations. But God can't send you to something you can't carry.
Come on.
So if you're going to nations, you have to be able to carry nations, even spiritually.
I love
David
that.
couldn't carry a people until he had already been anointed numerous of times.
I love that.
He was anointed in the house, anointed amongst his tribe, and then anointed. We can't skip it.
I love that.
And then at the end of the day, after you've gone to nations, who are you still accountable to? Because your platform doesn't neglect or negate your places of accountability. And what we want to do sometimes is switch accountability to people. Never mind. But it should not.
I love it.
Yeah, they want, like you said, they want the baby to grow in 9 days when it takes 9 months.
And
overnight, you're losing your day.
And you'll have a preemie. You don't want no preemie. Just like you don't want no half-baked chicken. You don't want no half-cooked food coming out the oven. You know, it's no good for you. And sometimes it looks good on the outside. Sometimes that's what the tricky thing about not cooking all the way through. That's why you got to leave it in long enough, because it may look good on the outside. You see that? It looks good on the outside, but when you get to the root of it, you find out that thing ain't cooked all the way through. And that's how we find out what these people are made of when things, start coming into fruition and things start falling apart. Now we see what you got in you. This is why you got to be thoroughly cooked, rotisserie all the way through. All right, now I'm getting hungry thinking about all of this good food. But I just believe that in this season, God is taking all of us to another level, and we want to be prepared. And I believe those of you that are watching, those of you that have watched early on, God is taking you to another level. He wants you to go to another level. That's what we call the Strength Talk. And we want to pour into you. And not only when we come in here, we pouring into you, we pouring into us. Because every time I come on here, one of my brothers say something that strengthens me, and I take it back and I apply it. It's something I needed to hear. When Bishop was just talking earlier, it was so much confirmation. It was so much confirmation, because that's what God been dealing with me with for the longest. There were so many things that were said tonight, and I pray that this was a blessing to you as much as it was to me. And I love every time we get together. My friend and brother's back on, Christopher Wynn. I'm going to let you. Many don't know Christopher Wynn is a prophet and a preacher within his own right. Jay Clay, this is a prophet over here. When he tells you
glory
something,
to God.
all I want, if he tell you an elephant is on the roof, go get you some peanuts and go up there. It's up there. But in this season where those remembering your why, that's what you was at, and God gave it to me because that's exactly where we was about to talk on. How important is it to remember why you got into it, and if you're in it for the wrong reason, what should you do, Chris?
Well, I think we kind of ended this, discussed this earlier, about just knowing, I'll put myself in it. I never aspired to be a manager. I grew up around a singing family, but I never aspired to work in the music ministry. This is not something that I aspired to do. So for me, some people think it sounds deep, but for me, I've been managing almost 10 years next year. But for me, it's a ministry. God gave me this. I came into this industry, with people laughing at me. They talked about me. They was like, yo, bro, Chris is managing. I was a joke, when I first started, because nobody took me seriously because I didn't really know what I was doing myself. When I started managing, I remember I told Trey, I had 12 artists when I first started managing.
He did.
And I had 12.
Tap dancers included.
12 artists. And the first year I went to Stella's, I was going through an issue. I lost my job. I lost my apartment. And one of my clients at the time, I had to share the hotel room with him. I'm going to the Stella's as a manager, and I got to share a room with my client and his group. And, I'm trying not to be embarrassed. We was going to the Waffle House. All my artists is paying my food the whole weekend. Nobody knew what's going on, but I'm the big manager here. And I got back to New York and I said, this is crazy. I said, this can't be going on. And God told me you had to lose to win.
Wow.
And I lost all of that. I lost my stuff in storage. I lost my job. I lost all that. But now I have more than what I had 8 years ago. You know what I mean? And it's because I stayed nice. I stayed consistent. I stayed, in the straight and narrow. I kept God first. I'm not in this for money. If I was in this for money, I would have quit a long time ago. That's why I encourage anybody that you have to know what you're doing. And for me, this is a ministry. And I believe that's the reason why we are where we are. And I just encourage anybody that's in this, know what you're in it for. Because if you're in it for glitz and glam, you might as well just stop now and go to 9 to 5 and just stop. Because this is not that. And for the day that we living in now, people don't want to hear, or they don't even care about all of that other stuff. They want to see God in you. They want to see that, this thing you singing and preaching about, if it's really effective for you, then that means it could work for me too. They don't want to see all of this fluff. We're in a real world now. So that's for me. I could say my own testimony. I know what I went through and the walk I walked. And if it can happen for me, it can happen for anybody else.
I love that. And with things lifting and that being said, I'm powerful testimony, bro. And we're glad that you didn't give up. And because Chris didn't give up, now he only manages a few artists. Thank God we got him off of. Right. At one time he was managing a blind dog. When he was a blind rapping dog. Anybody that had some kind of talent, Chris would manage you. But now he's
I did.
Now he has Stellar nominated artists. Now he's managing. He manages me. He manages so many other great people. And he's been with me for like past ever since he's been managing, pretty much, which is 9 years almost, or 10, going on 10. And it's been an amazing journey with each other.
But it wasn't easy.
It wasn't easy, and we had some funny trips that we won't tell tonight. Because we can. Yeah, but no, they already gave their stories, because they already gave. Stories.
We could talk about the North Carolina trip.
No, we're not talking about that, please. Okay. Anyway, so
and the $200.
Yeah, just don't worry about that. No, right. But anyway, so he's trying to tell y'all that we went somewhere and brought the whole shebang and cake and caboodle and drove.
We did.
Had $40 between all of us, probably 9 years ago, and got there and they only paid us $200.
Jay Clay, we had no money, and they gave us. We're not gonna name the preachers in there because y'all all know who they are. We're not gonna name. They gave us the envelope, and me and Trey went in the bathroom. We were so excited. And Thomas Clay was on that program that night.
Yes, God rest his soul.
And me and him went in the bathroom, and we counting And Trey said, Chris, this is like $200. So we flipping the money back and forth.
All the way in North Carolina.
They gave us $200 to go all the way to North Carolina with a whole band and a whole group and everything. With a 15 passenger rental van.
So we
did it.
And
I'll tell you, I paid my rent money to take that trip.
Yeah.
But we did it. And see, people don't know the sacrifices. They see Instagram, they see Facebook, they see flyers, they see wonderful pictures that you take with other artists that you admire. But they don't know the struggle behind it. I had a team of like 10 assistants when I started. I took them to breakfast. We had a big dinner, James, and had this whole big meeting. I'm handing out flyers and stuff like I'm somebody.
Ask me how many of them work now.
I
don't even know where they are.
I don't even know where any of those 10. I don't even know where any of those 10 people are today. I don't know. I see some of them on Facebook. I don't know where they are. I don't know.
But we're
praying for them. And the point of that is that you just have to know what you're in this for. And there's work behind this. It's not all about lights and camera and action. It takes work. And not only work, but it takes capital. And if you don't have money to back your vision
and
to back what you need to do in relationships and be nice to people, you're not going to make it, because you can't do this thing alone without a team. You can't do it with a nasty attitude, and you can't do it without money.
That's right.
It's true.
Right.
And that's what you need.
I hope those that are listening take heed to this tonight. We have poured into you and given to you what thus saith the Lord. And like we done preached tonight, okay? But I think Bishop Cortez done ended this thing 18 times.
You do it every time, though, man.
Every time we come on, so many one-liners that just punch us on out in the spirit.
Such an exaggerator. You're such an exaggerator.
Out in the spirit.
Shout out to the noobs. You're such an exaggerator.
Everybody can't be lying. Listen, between him and Bishop Stan Jones, who we love, who wasn't able to be on with us, between them two, we would thank God he ain't here, because we'll be staying on for another 3 hours.
Right.
Okay? But and Charlie, when everybody here, we can't take all of them. Yeah. And then Jason get going, and then Jason start running around the house. We can't take all of them. What up?
What's up?
Is he gonna sing too, or is he already singing?
He dancing and playing drums. He's cold on the drums, man, already.
I love it.
He gonna do what I really wanted to do first. I wanted to play drums.
Me too. Me too.
Hey, Jay, tell him he come on get some real quick. Tell him come on.
Look, you see them drums in the background? Look, you see him?
I love it. So wait.
Yeah, I know that's real drums in the back.
That's the real joints.
Yeah,
Jay, he got a set yet or no?
So wait, Bishop.
Listen, his room was right above our room. So I bought him the electric set first.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah. He was killing it, but now he done got too big for it. So I'm gonna have to set it up in the garage now and let him do it. Yeah.
Yolanda King, to answer your question, we do this once a month. It's normally on a third Thursday. She said she really enjoyed herself and she wants more of this. And how often do we do this? Do this once a month, because these guys are extremely busy and I can't afford them to be here all the time.
That's KC in the house, by the way. KC, Pastor Jason Sims, shout out to KC.
Tonight. We do this once a month, and that's because when James Mabel gets out of the air and we able to catch him, and when Jason comes out of the BT studios from taping, we're able to catch him. And from when Cortez comes back from the Bahamas, we're traveling all over with the guy, with Benny Hinn, the guy that gives out the handkerchiefs and singing praise and worship for him. And we able to get him on. Then that's when we able to do this when they're not traveling all around the world. But anyway, I love these guys and these brothers. Tell the people about what you got coming up next and how they can follow you and all that stuff and keep in touch. Somebody really did say KC in the house. Who's Jason Sims? Jason Sims, y'all know.
Pastor Sims.
That's Pastor Sims.
Carmel Church of God in Christ. Yes, sir.
That sounds like a real church, a Baptist church. Come on in there.
Right.
Oh God. Tell us about which James Mabel. his song, his new song is
He got a
tearing
new song?
up. Yes, he got.
I gotta check it out. When it came out,
Yo, it's turn up the charts.
Talking about
I gotta
Heal the Land. And
I gotta check it out.
It's him and a bunch of his white friends, and they killing. I love the song. I love the song. Tell us about that song, James Mabel, before you go.
Hey, Heal Our Land is just a strong message to the nation. We know what's happening in our nation and the world with all the unrest. God has just smiled upon it. In fact, those who are viewing next Friday, Good Friday, 11 a.m., 12 Eastern, the Stellar Awards is actually going to premiere the video on all of their platforms. And so I'm excited about it.
Congratulations,
awesome.
Brody.
And then I also have my lead single from my album, The Journey 2.0, available on all digital outlets. It's Your Past, which just cracked the top 50 on Billboard, landed number 38. Shout out to that Greg, Uncle G Lyons.
He kills it.
Killing it.
Just enjoying the journey, putting the work in, watching my brothers Cortez and Jay, and I mean Chris. I mean, I've been following you for a minute, man. Just pleasure to be on with you tonight. But I'm just hanging in there, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Man, picking up the nuggets along. I told somebody the other day in my stories, I'm like, if we would learn to just shout along the way instead of waiting to shout until we get there, wherever there. Just take it all in stride. So that's what's happening with me. You guys follow me on Instagram, Twitter at @JMabel Jr. They say I'm the gospel Kevin Hart, but I'm just a little taller,
Right.
Yo, it's a fact.
Y'all can't see my girls.
I didn't even pay attention to that,
Bro.
bro.
Hold on, James Mabel. One time we was on here and somebody came on our live. This was the last one, last month. They was like, yo, Trey, you better go ahead and say, know you had Kevin Hart on tonight. And I looked at, I said, yo, it did look like Kevin Hart. I'm going to screenshot that and be like, Kevin Hart was on with us tonight. Y'all missed it. I'm going to tell him. I'm going to tell him that.
Right.
Fact. Anyway.
Absolutely, man. Like I say, IG, Twitter at @JMabel Jr., Facebook, James Mabel Jr. And hey, just happy to be a part of this amazing platform. To the viewers out there, hey, keep supporting my boy Trey, man. This is absolutely dope. And
amazing.
Yes.
Keep supporting us, man. They come on here because they don't want to hear me talk. They coming on here to hear you guys talk. Man, they coming on there, the thousands of views at the end. It's because of y'all on here running y'all mouth. That's why they want to hear what y'all got to say. So I'm thankful for y'all coming on my platform and making it our platform. This is why I keep the same mix and just add one or two new people every now and again, because I like the cohesiveness we all have when we gelling together. Jay Clay, tell us about what's going on with you, bro.
Man, my record's about to drop, y'all. So pre-orders start from my album God Made It Beautiful. Pre-orders start in April. The album will drop on my birthday weekend, my 40th birthday weekend, which will be May the 28th. I'll be 40 on the 30th, May the 30th. So that Friday it's going to drop. I'm recording tomorrow night the album release concert, so we will release it that May the 28th that night. So I've been in rehearsals all week getting the choir ready. It's gonna be crazy, something fresh. Y'all know I got a twist to something every time I do something. So you're all I need is climbing the charts on radio right now. And I've been holding the video. The music video is done, so I'm gonna drop that the week after we drop the record. So I've been sitting on that, just trying to spread out my content as much as possible. You can follow me on Jason Claiborne 44 on Instagram, Jason Claiborne on Facebook and Twitter. And man, I got all my songs that are on out right now. That you can see all the music videos to them on YouTube. Just type Jason Claiborne and the atmosphere changes. So thank you, man. Everybody follow Trevone, and I love doing this, man. Every chance I get, love being with all you brothers, man. Love all y'all.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna say this last. Go ahead, Bishop Vaughn. No, go ahead. Before Bishop Vaughn, go ahead, Chris. We're gonna let him go last. Go ahead, Chris. Chris.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I'm watching Philly beat the Lakers.
Well, just stop watching it. I told you, just give up.
Yeah. So Wynn Big Management. You can follow me anywhere. Like you said before, I represent Trey, Lillian Lloyd, Javis May, Zach Williams out of Philly. You can follow all of us, Wynn Big Management, all over. You know, we all working. Zach is working on a new project. Javis is about to record. Trevone is about to open up his clothing factory and do a recording next year. So we got everything going on. Just follow us, Wynn Big Management. You know how to find us. Definitely.
Yes. Bishop Cortez Vaughn.
He's laughing. But let me tell you something. He's one of the hardest dudes I know. It's hard to get him on the phone. I mean, me and Trevone have been friends almost 20 years, and he got a million jobs. I think he got like a bank with like $1 million hidden somewhere. Because he got about 10 jobs. And I did an event about 5 years ago. Like 5 years ago, I did an event. What was the award I gave you?
Hustler
What's the name
Award.
of it? Hustler Award. Because that's exactly what he is. He's always hustling day and night. Night.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Thank you, Brody. Appreciate you. I can't. Bishop Cortez Vaughn.
Thank y'all again. The Lord has been kind to us tonight.
Yes, he has. Yes, he has.
Yes.
I'm excited. Good Friday. The new single is dropping entitled I'm Why.
Let's go.
So I'm excited about that.
That's dope.
And I thank you all for your support already. So this is not like, y'all already knew that because y'all been supporting, but this is for everybody else that is on the live tonight. So I thank you, brothers, for your support. And I'll say this to those who are watching, that find you people that you can connect with that can treat you like we treat each other.
Wow.
So if you have to create the platform, pull you some people together, whatever entity you're in, whether that's in education, music, ministry. If you a preacher, surround yourself with people who can support you even from a distance. So I just felt that, don't just look at us and be like, oh, that's great. No, create your own setting, because this came from an idea. So the idea you have could be the next version of this for where you are in your city or where you may be in ministry. So new single dropping Good Friday. We're excited about that, entitled I'm Why. You can follow me on Instagram, Bishop Cortez Vaughn, Facebook, Cortez Vaughn, Twitter, Bishop Cortez Vaughn. And then if you can't find me there, go to James' place and then find me, go to Jason's place, find me, I'm on something that they didn't tag me or I didn't tag them. And just follow everybody. That way you won't miss out on nothing.
Yeah, follow everybody.
I'm gonna share theirs, they're gonna share mine. So either way it goes, y'all be on top of it. So and we got the Mr. Management Guru. So no, seriously, if you a manager and you trying to get rolling, then y'all need to be sending an inbox, can I, is it a way I can, have a conversation? These settings are so we can be better.
That's
true. Take advantage of this. Y'all hit Trey up, man. He a good dude. Y'all should have seen him the other week. And then he was dancing and everything with his hoodie on. He was he was kind of getting it and stuff.
That's what I do.
So, man, I enjoyed that. But I love y'all. Brothers, thank y'all so much. This gives me life.
Me too, man.
And I don't want to be like the lepers when Jesus healed them. Most of them kept going. So I want to be the one to tell y'all, thank you, man. Thank you for these opportunities to just share it. I think this brings a new light to iron sharpening iron and being able to share it with brothers that you can feel safe while on social media. That's crazy.
That's right. Because when we get on, we don't see nobody else. I mean, we see the comments, obviously, but at some point, we locked in, and I'll be forgetting that. I'll be having to pull back even sometimes, like, oh my God, I forgot. Hey, how y'all doing? Because it's like a phone conversation.
Yeah, it's just we talking about brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't even be looking at the comments.
Sometimes I'll be like, oh shoot, we on live.
We on
watch what I say.
That's a fact, because we have Jabari has slipped. I mean, everybody has slipped at one point. We was like, oh, wait a minute. You live? Oh, yes, I'm live. I told you I was live. But anyway, because we just get real with each other. We just get real. We just get real. And like I said, I cannot thank these gentlemen enough this is why you got to do what God has told you to do, no matter what. You know, I told Chris this one time, and it blessed him at a real pivotal moment. It's like I said, if God told you to do it, don't worry about people. Just go on and do it. You know, we don't do this because we have nothing better else to do with our lives. You know, because we are all busy men, very, very busy men. I know I am. Chris is not playing when he tell you he can hardly get me on the phone in the day. And when I talk to him, it's mostly brief. I'm like, yo, bro, I gotta hit you back later. You know, I'm doing this and that.
But it's so good, Trey, that we pause for this.
Correct. We gotta pause. You gotta pause. You gotta pause.
That's how good it is. Because I'm about to do a video shoot with my son. So I got to but I don't mind pausing for strength.
Yeah.
Right.
Bishop, all right, now we got to go. We got to go for real. We got to go because he's about to start up. I need an organ right now. I need an organ. I don't mind pausing for strength.
Right.
Woo! My God. This is strength talk at its. I'm going to say that when we hang up. I don't mind pausing for
strength.
Cortez Vaughn tonight. He's always blessing us. But like I said, when I come on here, every time I come on here, I'm lifted from you guys. Right. I promise you, I already loved you guys before, but I like overly loved you guys now. Jason was already my bro before. It's like, yo, he like anything he want from me, man. Oh, yo, hit me up, bro. I'm here. Anything I can do to help in my small part, if my small little help, I'll help. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If I can help
it's vice versa, bro.
Yeah, to any of you guys, I'm here. James, listen, I give you the press. If I got Barack number, I'm giving it to you. You know what I'm saying? Whoever I could connect, I'm gonna connect. That's how I am. And I wish more of us would be this way.
You'll be like that, right?
But it's okay because I always say this all the time. We gotta be the change that we want to see. We can't wait to say, let so and so do it. Why isn't this one doing it? Why isn't the bigger or who you deem to be the bigger artist doing it? Because listen, we got Billboard chart and gospel artists right here. Right here. Every last one of us have been on the charts. And 3 of them on the charts right now. So and so, you know what I'm saying? You know, these dudes know what they're talking about, and they have some skin in the game. Until next time, family, please remember to live in purpose, on purpose, for the purpose God has on your life. My name is Trevone Perry. I can be followed on Instagram at Trevone Perry _ Facebook, Trevone Perry and Divine Purpose. I have a clothing line out called Team DP Apparel, where we have Why Hate shirts and hoodies and hats and everything. And that's what I got to do.
Socks.
I get off of this. We got everything. I've got to finish working on the clothing line. I want to say I thank each and every I see some of my customers on. Because of you guys, thank you guys. I'm moving out 20, 30 items at a time every week. That is amazing. That is amazing. And I know I'm not holding you. I'm not, like the young people say, I ain't gonna hold you. I'm not holding you. This is my right hand to the Lord. My friend sees it, and the people that's around me see it, and that's nothing but the grace of God. While being a full-time dad and a full-time worker as well, I get up and I go and make my cash in the morning too. You know what I'm saying? At a good job, amen. And God has been good to me. And that's why I believe in giving back and pouring into you people. I'm serious about ministry, and I'm serious about God's people, and I'm serious about helping people, because I too remember what it was like for some to want and need help and nobody wanted to give it. So anyway, like I said, until next time, until next month, we'll be back, same back channel, same back time. We love you guys. Peace.
All right. Love y'all, bros.
Okay, John.